with $10, right? You can easily go $5. But I feel comfortable that we're going to be advertising to deer lovers. And because we haven't advertised in a while, I want to start getting some results so we can show you guys for next week. So I'm going to start out with $10 with this ad set. So that means here that the run, it's going to run your ad set continuously starting today, and that you'll spend no more than $70 per week. That also means that even though it's $10, sometimes you'll spend $9.80 in a day. Sometimes you'll spend $10.23. But on average, at the end of the week, you'll spend no more than $70. Under conversions, we want to leave at conversions, right? This is more advanced and different types of advertising for different things. So we don't have a landing page in this case, a link clicks. In this case, we're going to focus on conversions, right? We could focus on link clicks in this case because we are going to have a link, but not necessarily. We want Facebook to focus on the audience first, and then ultimately generate us link clicks. So I'm going to leave that alone. Then conversion window, 7 days click or 1 day view, right? This is the standard. Actually, this is a new standard. Before it used to be just 7 days. So the conversion window is basically how long does it take from the time that a person sees your ad to get a conversion. So you think about it. Okay, how long does it take to get a conversion? So if my conversion that I'm up here that I'm tracking for is view content, how long is it going to take for them to view the content from the time that they see the ad? Well, 7 days click or 1 day view is the standard normal option. Why is that? Well, it means that if they see the ad in 1 day, they'll click on it and view the content within 1 day, or they'll see the ad, engage with the ad, and maybe come back days later and actually go to the web page and go to the product page. So we want to track both of these scenarios. So this conversion window can stay the same. You can also later on split test the same ad set or an ad set that's working for you and experiment with different conversion windows to see what kind of results you're going to get. Bid strategy, lowest cost, is the standard and is what we recommend that you stay. Later on, in the future, you could technically target a cost, but that only means that you have so much experience in advertising and you know exactly what you're advertising for, and you've done it so much that you know exactly what should be spent per conversion. And that can get a little more tricky. It's a little more of an advanced strategy, and that's something we're going to use nor need to generate great results in selling within your store. So going back to the area that I skipped, detailed targeting. This is where it's very unique, right? There's many different ways to target audiences throughout the world. And because we're focused on the United States and we know that we're going to be advertising women leggings, we're going to talk about different things, but I want to do some sort of flex targeting, right? Flex targeting simply means when you stack different interests in order to start painting the picture of the people that you're looking for. And I'm going to keep it very simple. So before I do that, let me just do this. It's US 18 plus, men and women. So I'm just creating the title here, right? So it's I even sometimes I like to do this. I put the date 3/29 deer leggings in parentheses, so I know exactly what's being advertised and when I started the advertising on the asset. Then US 18 plus in age, 20 males and females. Then I'll put here who I want to target. So let's think about it for a second. Women's leggings. Who would like that? Well, I would say that people that like leggings, for sure, right? And people that like deer. So it's very easy and very obvious maybe for this one, right? But it's not always that obvious and that easy. And I want to see what kind of results we're going to get, right? So if I was to go leggings, right, and I was to look at the interest, look at this. 73 million people are interested or have shown some type of interest in leggings. That's very, very broad. Remember I told you guys that we wanted to stick with an audience of about 100 to 500,000 people? Well, if you look here to the right, the audience size right now, potential reach, is 17 million people. This is based on men and women between the ages 18 to 65 in the United States, who live in the United States, right? Even though the leggings here says 73 million, in the United States alone is 17 out of that 73, okay? So, but I want to go deeper than that. So that's too broad for me, and I need to be more specific. So let me just check what other legging interests are, right? Baby leggings, liquid leggings. I'm not seeing one that catches my eye. All right, so, okay, so let's say leggings. But let's say also that I want to target people that like deer, right? Deer is 61 million. White-tailed deer is 4.7 million. You see the difference? This is more specific. This is more niche. But check this out. Our Facebook page is called White-tailed deer. So in my mind, I'm thinking, well, if somebody likes leggings and they like white-tailed deers, and then a fan page that's called White-tailed deer is showing them deer leggings, there's a higher probability that they're going to click, right? So I like this. I like these odds. So I'm going to select white-tailed deer instead of just deer, because I think this is too big. White-tailed deer. And there it is. Leggings, white-tailed deer. There's potential reach of 410,000. Now, I could even get more specific and more narrow. So here you see narrow further. You want to narrow further. I could go something along the lines of shopping, right? I want to target people that like shopping. I could even say online shopping. Interest, 900 million, so 1 billion people. That's too big. I want to target here just shopping behavior, see if there's a shopping behavior. Let me explain what a behavior means. So behaviors here are typically tracked by Facebook within the U.S. You typically won't see behaviors outside of the U.S. But a behavior simply means, let's say, shopping. You see here, I'm just looking for the behavior. So you see employers, job titles. I think employers and job titles is pretty specific. I mean, pretty self-explanatory. Interest. So there's different groups and fan pages out there for posts. So if somebody comments, engages, or even stares at shopping posts for more than a couple seconds, Facebook is tracking all that. And that's just data, right? Massive amounts of data that Facebook is tracking. And sometimes you'll see behaviors. I don't see anything here for that. Online shopping, let's see if there's any behaviors. Mortgage online behavior. So just look at that for an example. Consumers and households that are known to or likely buyers of mortgage online based, right? So it's just data. It's data that Facebook is tracking. Not every interest is going to have behaviors. I wanted to see if there was like a shopping behaviors. I know it's somewhere in there just to narrow it further, but I think 400,000 is already good enough. Another thing here is that expand interest when it may increase conversions at a lower cost. So in this case, I'm converting, or I'm focusing on conversions on view content. So I'm going to go ahead and click this, right? But I would also go ahead and actually test without clicking it. And for some reason, it's not letting me click it. So it did click it. Okay, so look at the difference. I don't know why it's not showing that it's clicking, but if I click on it, our potential reach just went to 200 million people. If I unclick it, it goes to 410,000. And that's because Facebook's algorithm, when I say expand interest, it goes into an infinite number of possibilities, saying, well, somebody that likes Coke, that lives in New York, that might like leggings, and Coke is not necessarily one of these interests, but that's a potential. So it gives you that big number, but you don't want to pay attention to that big number. You want to unclick that and look at the potential reach before you click it and make sure that that's around 100 to 500,000. So in this case, I'm going to leave it unclicked. right? So I just want to target people that like leggings, that like white-tailed deer, and kind of see what kind of results that gives me. What I will do between now and next week is I'm going to do a couple more ad sets with different audiences that are a little more specific, more targeted in different areas. Like leggings, I'll probably go and find a brand of leggings. White-tailed deer, I'll look at other deer interests. Maybe I'll find something that's shopping related. So people that love shopping, that like deer and that like leggings, and see how that turns out. So I will test that out within the next week. But for this example, so you can see how this works, I'm just going to put on the title that I selected leggings plus. So plus means that I must also include, which narrows the audience, white-tailed deer, right? I am targeting all devices. And I just like to put that out of habit, just to know that it's all devices. And sometimes, once I get a little more specific or advanced, I would even go as far as saying this is a 7 days click, 1 day view. I could even go as far as saying newsfeed only on my ad set name, so I know exactly where this is being targeted and shown. But for the time being, I think this is good enough. It has the male and female 18 plus in the U.S. that like leggings and white-tailed deer, right? So this is it right here. Now, before I go on to the next section, there's two ways of showing an advertising ad on Facebook, right? In this case, if you were to click on next, continue, you would go on and actually let's do that. I'll hit continue. But one of the things I didn't do is I didn't create a post prior to this process. So let me go to the fan page really quick. In the fan page, I'm going to do the post, and we're almost done here because this is the last crucial part. I know we're already hour and a half into it, so thank you for sticking with me. This is valuable information, and we wanted to make sure you had all this information with you. So I'm going to go ahead and upload the picture that we created, which is this ad here, right? And then I'm going to select the product. So I'm going to go back to my store, find the product. So go to products. I'm going to click on leggings, or I'm going to look for the leggings. If I don't see it right away here, I'll just type it up on top. Here they are, leggings. And I'm going to go ahead and view that page, and it's going to give me a link. This is the link of the product, right? So this is way too long to put on the post. So one of the things I like to do is go to goo.gl, and that shortens the link. So what I'll do is I'll click on this, I'll select the link, copy, come over here to the URL shortener, click on here, input the link, shorten the link, and it's going to give me this very, very short URL that goes to that same long URL that I had. And it's going to give you a preview window of that page right here. So all I got to do is copy that URL, and there it is. It just took a second. So that's the page it's going to. So I'm just going to copy that URL. I'm going to come over here to the post. I'm going to say, amazing deer leggings. And I'll say something along the lines of like 40% off. And why 40%? Well, one is this is a discounted product. So I'll make sure that the margins there, or the difference between what I'm selling the product at and what it's worth, or what it shows that the retail value is at least 40%. Because if you think about it as a consumer, if you see a 40% sale and it's something that you like, you're likely to get it. So that's where you start thinking about the psychology aspect of sales, is you want to show value. And then you want to say 40% off today, right? So think about it, today, well, you might be running this ad for a week. Well, tomorrow's today, 2 days from now is today, right? And typically, different people will be seeing the ad. So instead of saying 40% off all week or all month, right, 40% off today is very, very true, because it's 40% off today, and it's also 40% off tomorrow, but tomorrow's today, and that will go on until we want it to go. but it's just playing with words so that it